Hi guys, welcome back to Epistle OPD. Hi, so welcome back to Epistle OPD. We have Trishlaa with us. We will be talking about communicating design intent, and I'm just gonna invite Trishlaa to be on our live. Trishlaa is going to join us very soon. We have something very interesting that we will be talking about. Hi Trishlaa, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Is there any disturbance from my side?
Not at all. Not at all. First of all,
Great.
to our Epistle OPT
Thank you
and
so much.
brief to our audience about you, I would like to tell them that Trishlaa started cold in a very passionate interior designer from past 25 years and has been a successful entrepreneur, right? And you've also been conducting a lot of workshops virtually as physically to make and meet all the design solutions for our audiences, especially catering to the needs of students,
True.
right? Okay, so we will be connecting with Trishlaa today and discussing on communicating the design. Then, as we know, it's really difficult to talk about communicating. So this session is primarily going to focus on how to take the process forward and what are the nitty-gritties that one completely forgets while doing all of the processes. So Trisha, welcome back again, and over to you now. So what exactly is design intent?
Thank you, Sana, for this live session. So I hope I'm able to communicate, to people how exactly should they work on a process of communicating their design. Interior designing is such a field that, we are more like psychologists. We have to understand what, people have in their mind, and we have to replicate the same thing like through technology or through manually. It could be any process. Okay,
Yeah,
so while doing so, people have to really understand that how important it is that your communication, your design intent, like if you don't do it in the right way, that's where we fall into trouble. Like in the initial stages of a design, what we used to do is that we used to think that every single work which we do has to be paid for.
absolutely.
We didn't really understand that interior designing means giving a proper process of design, like say from a 2D to a 3D to giving them a complete customer experience. There are a lot of things which has to be involved. So in the starting, like we all used to think that only our presence on the site is enough, we don't really have to work on the technical background. Then slowly we came to know that no, it's a complete process. We have to always ensure that we take their 2D plans, we work on that, we understand how well can we manage their space. So once we understand how well we manage their space, we also have to communicate the space.
Right.
Okay. So if I just give you a 2D line drawing, will you be able to understand being a non-interior design person? So, communicating that. So, that kind of a work is very, very important. So now, in this 2020, it's like a huge competition than it was back then. Back then, it was a bit, I would say, more easy, but difficult in the way that people never used to value this work. Now people value this work so much that there's so much of competition in the market,
Yeah.
right? So now your process of communication has to be even more stronger, has to be even more different, and has to be even more like satisfying. They should just feel that yes, this person is there who's understanding my dream.
Yeah.
Because a person spends 20, 30 years building up that house, so they become very possessive and they're like, no, I just cannot give it to anybody and everybody.
True, true. So, considering the pandemic, everything has come on the virtual grounds. So,
True.
how you want to experiment that this communication becomes very easy, especially through this virtual aspect? Because in case when people were not doing this physically, now doing it virtually is another bigger task.
True. So I believe it doesn't affect that much if you're really very good in communicating your design in your presentation also and verbally also.
Right.
Okay, because what happens is that when I sit with you and when I discuss your room, okay, with the way I story tell you how I'm creating this room, that's 70% of the job.
Right.
Okay. And the rest 30%, if I'm able to put that entire thing properly in a sheet and if I'm able to share it without my presence being there, the rest 30% job is done. So whether your presence is there or not, your work has to communicate. That's
Ab-
more important.
Absolutely. Did you ever notice that, once a while, if you're communicating something to your client, there are some gaps in it?
There are
Have,
always gaps.
so
There
how
will
do you,
always be gaps. So basically, what you have to do is that when you're meeting, like say when we both of us are meeting, we always, ensure at the end of the meeting that, we draft a minute and we share it, that and we understand that yes, both of us are on the same path, right? Because certain times what happens is that I'm meeting you physically, I'm present, but mentally I'm somewhere else, and we cannot control somebody else's mind. Like obviously they also have 20 things to handle, even we have 20 things to handle. So like in that, even we might miss discussing a few points. So we
right,
would have thought we have discussed, but we wouldn't have discussed. A lot of communication gaps do prevail. So always at the end of every single meeting, let it be a phone call, let it be a WhatsApp, separate private chat if you have a group, and if you're chatting privately with a member of the group, then that, and if you're meeting on site, or if that person is meeting somebody else and you've come off to know. So every single minute of the meeting, if it is happening in the day, it's better to share it and get a
right.
confirmation that yes, both of us are on the same path. And if anybody's missed anything, immediately it clicks. And that gap of miscommunication, or that gap of those loopholes, they are sort of sorted. I would not say 100%, but because that's not possible, but at least we can try to make it 90-95%.
Okay. No, no, fair enough. I think it makes a very valid point, to summarize everything to whatever you've discussed, because it
Yeah.
keeps also, remember being discussed and what needs to be discussed in the future, right?
Yeah.
What do you think that, communicating design intent effectively would be possible with? Are there certain points that needs to be taken care of, or how would you like to take that?
Excuse me. Yeah. So basically, see, whenever you're communicating the design, okay, like say whether you are a very new person in the market, or whether we are like say 50 years experienced people as well, still we have to upgrade ourselves how the technology is upgraded. Okay, we have to change our various styles of communication. We have to change the way we communicate every single time we meet, because I have to impress each and every time I meet you. Okay, that's a kind of a constant work we have to do with ourselves, that what different do we do to make our clients excited about our work. So
Right.
your the way you communicate is how you present. Okay, like I always tell my team members who attend my workshop, that your presentation is a virtual marketing tool.
I
When
agree.
we share a presentation, that means that person is at least going to be showing to 20, 30 other people, though they don't need an interior designer right now, but they will remember your brand. Okay, and whenever they talk about interior design, that's the first thing which will come to their mind. So that's the kind of communication we have to do, not only to the person for whom we are designing, but also to everybody whoever comes into that space, or whoever sees our work should also feel communicated with it. So
Absolutely.
that's the most important factor. So the most important step I would say is to explain them like they don't know anything. Okay, like say if they are doing up a wall, how is that wall previously present, what are the issues present on that particular wall, how are they rectifying that, and how will be the final output. Okay, and very important for every single individual, how much it will cost. If they give a complete entire flow of presentation, like say a basic PowerPoint presentation is also fine, like just neatly make it a good template and add your logos and everything, so even that's good enough. But you have to ensure that every single thing is neatly mentioned there, They don't have to go like say from third slide to the first slide to say really feel connected. It has to be
Right.
a complete sequence wherein, like, say you are entering your room. This is your wall. This is how it is looking. These are the issues you're facing and how I'm addressing to your issue. So if I am able to communicate that virtually, then that's where I start winning my communication skills.
Right. Right. Um, done to communicate design then effectively.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
So I repeat the question: what could be done to make the design communicate, very effectively?
So I would always like it to make it into a proper detailed presentation. Like, I put the floor plan. So in the floor plan, if there are around like say 8 to 10 objects, like say a bed, there is a study table, there's a study chair, there's a wardrobe, like whatever elements are present in the room, rug, the four walls, the doors, every single thing, the windows, everything. So I mark them into each and everything as an individual number. So I
Right.
prepare a legend. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in the coinciding slide, what is the kind of idea I'm thinking for one? What is the kind of idea I'm thinking for two? Okay. So I just put in ideas. I don't give them too many ideas. I just
Mhm.
jot down the ideas and I just give them one or two pictures. If I know but that both are effective, then I add.
Just for
Okay.
the
And yes. And then I add up the color sequence. That these are the ideas, but this is the color sequence in which we will be working across these ideas with. So, somewhere or the other, they are able to imagine. Okay, she's understanding what I really need. So, they start trusting our work. Now,
right.
everything I cannot always take them to vendors and I can show that, this is the kind of blue I'm talking about, this is the kind of purple I'm talking about. So I have to make a really very easy virtual element wherein I just show them and they understand.
Hmm. Right.
Like how we used to, in our childhood days, we used to have an apple and we remember the alphabet A.
Oh yeah.
It's like, just recollecting ourselves like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I've also felt that whenever you're trying to communicate something, there are a lot of times people, like you mentioned, people don't understand, and I feel that sketches or maybe any drawn up.
Sana, your voice is in between, it's not audible.
Am I
Yeah.
audible?
You're audible, just in between it breaks.
Okay, so a lot of times it's always preferred that you make a sketch or do up a small prototype of whatever you're trying to explain. As per your expertise, do you think that making a drawing or a sketch out of it, being a designer, does that always really help?
Yeah, a drawing or a sketch is like, we are clearing our mind that what exactly are we giving that them in that space. So preparing a sketch is completely fine, but then they don't really have to stress that they're not able to do it manually.
Right.
See, hand-drawn sketches, everybody might not be able to do. That's completely fine. We can also use technology. Like, we have so many easy apps. We have a pen, and then, we have the note. Like, I have a pen, and I use my sticky notes on my phone, and I just keep sketching in there. I keep coloring there. So I keep engaging into multiple things. So it is your simple elements which you can use to draw your mind down. So it is very important because you have to clear your mind, because you as an individual also get attracted to 20, 30 different things. Okay. So with those 20, 30 things, I cannot give you everything. I have to jot down and I have to give you only one. So even that, for that clarity, sketching is very important.
Right, right. Also, I know that drawing and something which is an architect's or a designer's favorite or a best friend. Coming to that, is it really important that one needs to be too good in drawing or like too good even while using technology,
I would
or
say
or
they just have to be
small?
well in communicating. They just have to be well in communicating. It can be either manually or it can be through technology, anything. But you have to get comfortable with one way, right? You cannot just be like, I'm not comfortable in any ways. That
Yeah,
doesn't really help you create a business. So you have to help yourself, get comfortable with one way. Either you get manually comfortable or you get comfortable with technology. Either of them. But we obviously have to work to make ourselves better.
great, great. No, I completely get what you're saying. Also, we have noticed that people would always like to sketching. Now what? Now let's come to the colors. And again, I feel that there's a gap in between. and the brainstorming or the process gets completely missed out. So how do we make sure that that process does not get missed out? Because I think that process or that brainstorming part wherein you try to conceptualize a lot, it communicated very well.
So, see, colors is one of the factors, which a lot of these students and, these upcoming designers who are just stepping into the market find one of the most difficult tasks. I would say it is not, because, more than I'm not way too far from the current generation, not that much of difference, but I would always say that, they are far more better people who dress well than us.
Mm-hmm.
They can accessorize themselves so well, they can dress up so well, they can just put in anything and they can make that look good, right?
Right.
So that kind of a confidence they have to make themselves look good. The same thing they should have for the space. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what makes you comfortable in your skin? Like, say, a color choice, it could be pastels, it could be wearing whites, wearing blacks, wearing browns. It could be like just accessorizing with a tint of, like, say, a nice neck piece, which will only be the vibrant element. The
Yeah.
same thing is in your space. Pastel
Right.
colors are to make you feel equivalent every single day. That accent element is to add a pop, that yes, I am looking different. And then, like, the whites and the browns are to help you feel big always, like, to feel authoritative always. So this is how you also decide the colors for your space. It is not like we stick only to, like, a color theory or a color associative color or anything like that. It's just how you dress up, like, to, if your top is heavy, you wear a very simple bottom. The same thing, if you're doing one wall heavy, then ensure the rest is light, so it accentuates it and it enhances it.
Right. But how do you bridge the gap between deciding the color and initially started the sketching part? So from sketching to deciding the color, there's a lot of gap in between. So how do you fill that gap?
So it was a gap few years back. Now we have so many tools. We have these Asian Paints shade cards. We have these virtual color tools and everything. So the kind of color you are imagining is possible for you to get now.
Right.
Okay, like, say, I give this fabric. I'm like, I want the same colored brown for my furniture. It is possible. I can get the same color paint. All I have to give is give the sample to the Asian Paints people, and they'll do it for me.
Right. Right.
Okay, so now it's not like impossible. It is just that we need to go and find ways for it. So, like, if you really want that particular color, or, like, if you really are confused about that particular color, you can use the shade card, you can use those color tools, color selecting tools. You can try,
Right.
and the thing you're confident with will come. But getting very confident with colors or getting very confident with experimenting with colors will come with experience. It is not an overnight journey. Like, after two, like, say, 4 to 5 sites, you become more confident.
No, I agree. Also, do you feel that while you're communicating any design, mood boards, as we've studied, in our college days, they always help, because a lot of times there are different kinds of mood board that people prepare. Sometimes they just prepare mood board with the color palette. Sometimes it's just with the kind of material they want to use. What do you think, from an expert? What are the kind of things that basically a mood board requires?
So a mood board requires a communication, basically. That what are you giving in that particular room? Now, if you are expressing them with colors, you're expressing them with pictures, you're expressing them with material samples, you can do it the way you want to do it. Okay, that's not a problem, because it is all on us how we can simply communicate it to you. Like, see, you, if you're my client, okay, and if I realize that you understand everything, if I only show you with colors, then I
Mhm.
will have to tweak my mood board according to you.
Right.
I cannot just follow a process. I have to customize my process according to your needs.
Right.
Only then our communication will be on the right path. Okay.
Right.
And if I understand that for everything you need a proper reference image, then I
Mhm.
have to do it in that way. I cannot tell you that I'm sorry if you're not understanding, that's not my problem. I have to ensure that you understand every single detail. So,
Yeah.
how well I can do it for you, I have to keep revamping my mood board. And never a mood board is same for every single meeting you go. Like,
Yeah.
see, today I am meeting you, today we're discussing on certain points, and I'm preparing the mood board according to that. So, that kind of a communication is going to be different. Like, say, it is more going to be technical.
Yeah.
Then next, when we are meeting, we are discussing certain other points. So that communication is going to be different. In that, maybe I have to add materials to make you understand, or maybe share YouTube links. Now everything is available. It is
Hmm.
just that you have to jot down, and we have to explain it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so sketches are one thing. I think drawings are another thing. Technology these days are really helpful. So that's going to be like our next point. And coming to mood boards, like you rightly mentioned right now, do you think there's any other aspect that would be helpful in communicating the design?
So the other aspects in communicating the design would be is that you make it. There is no too many complicated elements. Just one simple thing. Okay, just make it as as you're preparing a presentation for a child.
Hmm.
Okay, because when you think that they will be knowing everything, that's where we do a mistake. Because what they are thinking, what we are thinking, we don't know that. Okay, so
Yeah.
just communicate in the way that you think that that person doesn't know anything through your presentation. But when you talk, you have to make them feel big. That's obvious. These communication skills, whatever I'm telling you, it's only for your presentation part, not for your verbal communication. So for your PPT, I would always say keep your presentation simple. Don't make it too heavy, especially your templates. Make it nice, simple, and just a nice border or a nice picture with a reduced opacity, something like that. Then use those top 10 professional fonts, because you cannot use any kind of a childish font, and you can expect that the other person feels really excited about looking at it. So your fonts have to be very professional. Your brand image, from the starting till the end, they should know that bold is communicating to them. It is not any third or fourth person. It is bold who is talking to them. So the logo from the first page till my thank you slide has to be present.
Right.
Because that's where my presence is felt every single minute.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
coming down to making it neat, crisp, and clear. It's not a corporate presentation, but it is an experience creating presentation. So, with those basic pictures, or like say, with those basic templates, I'm giving you an experience of your dream space.
True.
So, irrespective of whether you open that presentation after a very rough day, or irrespective of you open that presentation with an idea that you really don't want to select me, it could be anything. The minute you open my presentation, you feel the vibe
Right.
that
Right.
yes, this is what I want for my space. So your mood boards or your presentations should be very clear. It should not be confused. Will be obviously be nervous that whether they would like it or not and everything, but that confusion is for ourselves, not for you.
Right.
So when I am showing it to you, anything, that confidence in that presentation is very important.
Completely agree. I would actually like to add one more point to it. That would be the design, because we've been.
I'm sorry, your voice is broken between.
So I think I would like to add one more point to it. That would be the design writing or the content that has been incorporated in any presentation, because a lot of times visual do help a lot. However,
True.
the and the writing or the design language that you're trying to portray for that particular design also helps, because it needs to go everything in sync. The image
True.
with the writing needs to go in sync with what we are trying to communicate, right? So I think both of them needs to go hand in hand. If your content is not working with the image, again there is a mismatch, or vice versa,
True. I
right?
agree to your points.
And like you mentioned that the brand image also matters. I think that brand identity, the big point that cannot be missed out when you're communicating, because everything revolves around that brand identity, which is a
True.
really word. It sounds very small. Okay, this is like just put down your logo or just mention certain things about the brand, and there you're good to go. But I think there's a lot of R&D behind it. There's a lot of thought process behind it, right?
True.
So you tell us that how would you, when you're talking about a brand identity, how do you want to communicate that brand's identity?
And that's just three simple steps. Visibility brings you credibility, which helps you get profitability. This is the only thing I really believe in. So unless and until I am not visible, like I don't have to be physically present because that's not possible everywhere.
Right.
But I have to be present in such a way that I'm always in front of your eye. Okay, like there are a lot of people you would have never met or we might never meet, but we communicate. That communication comes in through your social media, comes in through your presence online and offline. Okay, like if you're present way too much offline, they will still check your online presence, and if
Yeah.
your presence way too online, they'll also check your offline presence. So both are very very important when you're creating your brand image. And
Mm-hmm.
also it has to be in such a way that it's an immediate attraction. It could be a simple sophisticated attraction, or it could be a very vibrant one. It's your style, so just play across with it. This
Very,
is the
very
only thing I really believe in when it comes to brand identity and marketing. Like if
ab-
I'm not visible to you every day, that means something is wrong. Like it could be fine once in a while. Like say, from last 3 to 4 days, we're not very active on Instagram because of like, backend R&D and everything, whatever is happening. But still people will message us that where are you? Where are you? Where is it? Where is this? Where is that? So, that's how they miss things. So it has to be created in such a way that even if you're not present one day, people start asking you why.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree, and I really like the way you've jotted down it in 3 points. And I want to pick up one of those points where you mentioned the presence on online, and me coming from a PR background, I believe that marketing and that outreach is really important. But again, to
True.
put that in the right manner and in a correct
Sana,
manner.
your voice is not clear.
Audible
Yeah.
now?
No,
Am I
you're
audible?
audible, but you're way too far. So we are not able to hear you.
Am I audible now? 1 second. I will just increase the volume and see. Okay, am I audible now?
You're audible. I think it's just way too far. So I'm not sure if the audience is able to hear or not. Okay, we'll just continue. We'll see if anybody is questioning, then we'll think of it.
Sure, sure. So I wanted to pick up on one of the points, which is marketing. It's very important how you market your brand and how you're communicating the brand, because that communication, like you mentioned right now, of a brand's identity and a brand image is also important. And how you market that in various ways to create it unique and to create it different so that people start, recognizing your brand.
I'm sorry, I am not able to hear you clearly at all. Maybe I'll just exit and join
Sure, you can try doing that.
because your voice is very far and I'm not at all able to hear you clearly.
Sure, you can try and do that. Yeah.
Sure.
Trishlaa is just gonna join us back, and you all of you can please share your questions with us. Meanwhile, if there's anything that you would like us to take on, anything that you would like Trishlaa to respond to, anything communicating design. Am I audible now?
Yes, completely. I think something was a problem on my side. Sorry for that.
No problem, no problem. So I wanted to pick up on marketing, and I was mentioning that it's very important that how you market a brand, because the brand's identity and image, like you mentioned, is really important, and how you communicate that one particular thing in different manner or maybe in a very unique manner is also very important.
True.
What is your take on it, while marketing a brand's or communicating something brightly, or how many ways there could be to market a brand their right position?
So I would always say for a beginner, no, always educate yourself with the subject called marketing because they don't understand the importance of PR. They don't understand the importance of like marketing into different funnels. Okay, like if I am like see when we see these top brands, whoever is ruling their market, FMCG, any kind of a product you see, they are present every single place.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about Dove, you'll see Dove everywhere. You'll see hoardings of Dove, you'll see Dove in newspapers, you'll see Dove in TV, you'll see like in social media, everywhere.
Mhm.
Why? Because that's the kind of high image they want to create. Though the product cost is only 30. Okay, so that's the level of brand they're developing. So unless and until a newcomer doesn't understand onto what level they want to create, they
Mhm.
cannot really start working on it. So, and plus now, good to this lockdown that, we have so many courses available at a very budgeted pricing that, we can really help ourselves get more educated with these topics. So if you're an interior designer, it doesn't mean that you only stick to designing. If
Mhm.
you are an interior designer and an entrepreneur, you have to understand marketing, you have to understand communication, you have to understand management, you have to understand accounts, you have to understand every single thing. Okay,
Right.
so it is very, very, and brand now is even more important than it was like say 7 8 years back. Now personal branding is the foremost element. Like, if it is like say my interior design company is Bold Interior Stories, but my workshops and everything is Bold by Trishlaa Challani because it is done by me.
Mhm.
My design company will be handled by multiple people.
Yeah.
Okay, like say, I'll have my junior designers, I'll have my workers, I have multiple people who represent me when it comes to Bold Interior Stories. But when it comes to Bold by Trishlaa Challani, that means I'm the only one who's taking up the workshop. I'm not having like say 20 30 other tutors. So that's where my personal branding works, and I have to be present personally. I cannot always help you do everything virtually. So it is very important to educate ourselves into all those funnels and understand. And the places, once we understand, it becomes very easy to value the PR. It becomes very easy to value what you guys are actually conveying it to us.
Right.
So I would always say they should first educate themselves, and then you have various platforms. Find where your right audience is. Like say my right audience is on Instagram, so my presence is only here 90%. YouTube is like 2 to 3%. Facebook is like 2 to 3%. Twitter is like literally nil, and LinkedIn 10 to 12%. So like this is my major audience is here. So my major activity is here. So find where your audience is, and once you're sorted with one set of audience, then build another platform where you're looking for next set of audience. So you have to keep going on and on and on. It's not like a full stop. It's a
Yeah.
continuous process.
Yeah. What do you think? What would be the essential requirements to market in a very successful?
Content
Ah,
and honesty.
yes.
Like I cannot like a lot of people message us and ask us why isn't my personal life present there. Like I'm not a very like extrovert to really open up about myself. So the I am, but I'm strong with my subject, so I open up about that.
Great.
So whatever you are comfortable with and what you're very honest with, open up with that. Like see, obviously I do not sit and write say 40 50 pages content, and that is why what we post, what we have been educated with, what we have understood with. So that is the thing which we formulate into the words. Certain things we would have read somewhere else, but we can communicate it to you in a better format.
Right.
So we add that onto a content. So it has to be a strong content, and it has to be a honest and a relating content. Like if I cannot relate with you, then I cannot talk to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree, and I think our entire session has been talking about how do you relate with your clients, or how are you trying to communicate a lot of various aspects. So, I mean, I would just like to summarize the entire session in couple of points. We discussed about how you bridge the gap between the design intent and communication. We talked about how sketching is so important, presentation is important, and how we cannot miss out on mood boards, because mood boards are something that really put an impression on the other person, expressing what you're trying to do at your place or their space. Right, we spoke about technology. Like in current times, we cannot disagree that technology is not going to work out, because every aspect is relating to technology these days, where everything, we talked about drawings, we talked about content writing, how all of these things combined together make a brand's identity and brand image, and then how you market it. I think combining all of these points, our session would rightly be said that communicating design intent makes it successful. Would you like to add anything to our session or any more point to the session if I have missed out on anything?
No, you have not missed out on anything. But one thing I would really like to share with the audience is that don't feel scared. It's okay if we are wrong, or it's okay if you're confused. It's just that keep, when you're presenting, just be confident. That's all.
Right.
It could just be a try. It could just be just a thought. It's okay. But then you will know where you're going right or where you're going wrong. So just be confident when you're communicating. The minute you're confident, even the wrong thing becomes right.
Okay. Absolutely. Very important and a very major point.
And this happens a lot in this field. A lot. When you go to the site and there's a huge mistake happened on site, everybody is in panic situation. So in that, if you are not able to rectify that, and if you're not able to communicate that in a positive way, then everything is washed out. So you have to be careful on and strong on when you communicate things.
Absolutely. And communication not only means like a verbal one, it could be like through your sketches, through your drawings, through your, right, even through your presentation, right?
True, it could be any method. It's just that I should be able to make you understand what I am thinking for yourself. That's all.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would like to now just take some questions that people have asked us. So,
Sure.
Yuvraj, how to work on a concept, like how to apply it on your own design,
Sorry, how to?
how to apply it on our own designs.
Concept.
Yeah,
So basically, see, concept is nothing but getting a your design in a single path. Okay, like the concept could also be your colors, the concept could also be your pattern, the concept could also be your flow of work. It could be anything. Okay, so the point is that you have to select one major element. Like, say, I just want those vintage legs as my concept.
mhm,
So I'll find 20 different ways of presenting that.
right,
Okay, so what is that one single element which you're really very fascinated about? Use that first, and use that almost like, say, 50 to 60% in your entire design. Then you've created a concept already. The rest 40% is to just submerge along with it. So yeah,
I
so
think this is
one important thing, yeah.
the purpose. Yeah. The Sonal Kothari asked your thoughts on how to create a new brand's identity while
My
communicating.
thoughts, see, new brand identity or a old brand identity, all of us struggle for the same thing. Okay, like not like if we are present, like say from 30 years offline, we still have to struggle to create a presence online. So this struggle is for a lifelong struggle, because you will always have to think that you're a fresher and you have to work like that. Okay, never feel confident that yes, I have now a brand. That's never it. It takes a second to completely get washed off. So always, every single day, have this thought in your mind that you're a new person, you're a new brand, and you have to work equally hard. Okay. So when you are creating that kind of a presence, what you have to do is that you have to ensure that you're able to relate with people, with their issues. Okay. Like, say, when we are interior designers, we know in this lockdown, everybody has felt so frustrated staying across those four walls. So we can give them a small hope by helping them make their homes festive ready, or like we can help them do things in a way wherein they don't really have to struggle, because
Mhm.
everybody is struggling with their finances, everybody's having multiple issues. So even with that, how can you bring in a smile on their face? That's
Right.
the kind of content which it has to be.
Great. I think, Sonal, we have answered your question. Ruchita wants to ask if we can post the entire session on IGTV. Yes, we can. She has one more
Even
question.
I'll be reposting it.
For sure. She has one more question. Is freelancing better than job? Wow.
If you want to be secured, then job. If you are an adventurous person, then freelancing.
Okay, another question we have, Sweni. She says 3 years of diploma and 3 years degree. What does it make a huge difference?
See, whether it is a 3-year diploma or whether it is a 10-year study, In this field, unless and until you do not step out and you practically experience, there's no point.
Theory and
Okay?
practice way different.
Yeah. Yes. So it is, even if you study for 3 months, ensure that you practically apply that.
Yeah,
That's more important. The what you study, you have to apply. If you're able to apply, you're able to curate.
very rightly said. I hope so. Anyway, I've answered the question. Sakshi wants to ask, what is the most important thing in design, comfort or aesthetic looks?
So in designing is all about aesthetics with utility. If
Mhm.
something looks good and if it is not useful, it's anyways going to lose its essence. And if
Right.
something is only like, say useful and it doesn't look good, still it's going to lose its essence. So it has to look good and it has to be useful. Only then
Absolutely.
it's going to be there.
Yeah. Functionality is also very important.
Yes.
There's one more question we noted while going into. Yeah, I think we've answered all the questions. And okay, Trishla, before we sign off or we log off, two quick tips that you would like to let your audience know about the entire session that we had, communicating the design intent.
Be confident with whatever you're doing, any single step, okay? And please don't feel like, you're overworking. It's fine if you're overworking on one small project, but that's creating your portfolio. So don't feel like, demotivated or like, less confident that you're working way too much than other person, but you're creating your brand image. So just
Yeah,
work like a fresher. So like, how to present everything. I think we've just gone into too much of detail. So they should be
yeah,
able to get that. It's just that they should never feel that they're working way too much as a beginner. It's good. That means you are what you're taking now as 3-4 days. By the time you reach 5-6 years later, you'll finish within 3 to 4 hours. So you're
correct.
saving on time. So that's not a fear at all.
Great. I think we had a very insightful session today, and we gave a lot of information about communicating the requirement. So if any of you has missed out, we will be posting the entire session on our IGTV. Please do check on it. And any more doubts, you can always reach out to us or reach out to Trishlaa at Bold Design Interiors. Thank you, Trishlaa. It was really
Thank you
nice.
so much, Sana.
A
Same
very
here. Thank you so much for inviting us.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, guys.